Jaymes Mansfield here, bringing you yet another video. I recently got some PR from Kat Von D. It's the Divine collection. I was super stoked to get it because I've been following Kat Von D forever. She sent me the lipstick and the palette. I'm so excited to use it. I've been following Kat Von D forever now. When I used to work at Sephora, it was the brand I was in charge of. And so it's calling a full circle moment for me. I'm really stoked about it. It's surreal. And I know I've been gone for a little bit. It's been about 2 weeks since I posted the video, which feels like 2 years. I'm so excited to be back. I blocked my eyebrows for you guys because I'm gonna do my Divine inspired look. I posted on Instagram a while back. So stay tuned and I'm gonna show you my fabulously filthy look. First things first, I'm gonna put on some primer. It is the Professional. You can tell I use it because of how dirty the bottle is. Just put those over the areas that need the most prime, like my beard. Alright, now time for my foundation. I'm of course using my Krylon TV paint stick in color FS36, which is color me. And we're just gonna slather on all that drag makeup. Alright, when it comes to the brows, what I usually do is I take the stick and I just glide it on over. And I did like 10 layers of glue stick here, so my brows should be pretty secured down. Taking a beauty blender, I'm gonna blend all that out. Alright, when it comes to the point where the eyebrows are, what I don't do is I don't pat over it with the beauty blender. I don't do that because it's gonna pull pigment up. What I do is I go around it. I make sure I have a good gob of foundation on the eyebrow and just do the edges. We're lightly tapping around the edges. Now I look like Uncle Fester. Alright, now it's time to set all of this to make sure it don't go nowhere when I start putting on my makeup or I don't rub anything off. So I'm gonna use dermablend loose setting powder today. I already tapped some into the lid. Get a good generous amount and pat on the brows. Just set those bad boys down. Alright, and then circular buff it out. Alright, so we're gonna start the eye makeup. A huge part of Divine's makeup was the eye makeup. It's always so surreal and very avant-garde and crazy. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a base skeleton for it. I'm gonna go into the Shade and Light palette and use the color Shadow Play. And then it's gonna be the base skeleton for the crease. And we are drawing it way higher onto our brow bone because Divine's crease was crazy high. Now if it's a little thick underneath, that's fine because we're gonna cut this crease later with cream. What you wanna make sure is you just get it down to an area you like and just make sure there's a nice little balance there. And if this side takes me a little longer than usual, it's because of a scar right here, so I kind of have to work a little longer with it. And I'm gonna also do the base of my eyeliner as well, just so I know where to stop it. There, we mapped out where the eye makeup is all going to go, and we're gonna work around that. Using Jeffree Star's Drug Lord, I'm gonna cut my crease. The crease we're doing here is called a floating crease. It's a very big eye makeup trick they used to do in the 40s when they used to do noirs with the Dragon Lady kind of characters like Terry and the Pirates. She always had a floating crease going on. Van Smith, who did Divine's makeup, was very inspired by villains. And especially Divine played bad guys in movies a lot, so her makeup had to reflect as such. So there's a lot of graphic artwork put inside of Divine's makeup to make it pop on camera. And I'm going to use the Divine palette in the color Female Trouble, which is the white color. And I'm gonna set that crease, basically creating a nice little blank canvas there. And you may notice I only cut so much right up to here. That's because this is where the whole eyeliner is gonna go. So you don't have to really do that much. All right, dipping back into the Divine palette, I'm gonna use the blue color, which is Waters. This nice little sky blue. We're gonna pat that on, and really pack it in the center of the lid, and have it taper outward, going upward, and into the corner. All right, and I use a little more of that Waters color, and just hit it with some setting spray. And really bring out the pigment payoff. Now using the color Pink Flamingos, which is this nice green color, I'm going to add it to the end here and blend it through. And just mix that inward. And I love the play with irony of naming this green color Pink Flamingos, because if you watch John Waters' movies, the sense of humor in the movies always has to do with irony. And taking a clean brush, just gonna blend those in together. Alright, we gotta cut the crease more. I'm actually going to use an eyebrow brush, and using the color Hard Magic, which is their dark black color, we're gonna cut the crease. It's gonna seem a little extreme, but it's Divine makeup, so you gotta go all the way. And you shouldn't have a problem doing this because we put that brown line here so you have a guideline of what to follow. Alright, and I'm gonna use the color Hairspray, which is this nice little silver color, and just add a little bit to the corner here. Alright, time to start our eyeliner. Divine's eyeliner is super extreme, especially the eyeliner she had in the late 80s as pictured on the packaging here. So what we're going to do is use a tattoo liner and just go all the way with it. And it's going to be a little different here. We're going to do that arrowhead I showed you in my old tutorials. And when we get to the center here is where we're gonna take it a little different. Divine's eyeliner starts to square off and go downwards, so that's what we're gonna do with the eyeliner. Drag it up, and don't even bother using any of your natural lid. We're just gonna completely draw over it. And then bring it upwards so it rejoins that square here. And just take your time with it. You don't wanna rush eyeliner. That's never a good idea. Yeah, you kind of want your eyeliner to look like one of the hills from the cover of Rosemary's Baby. Because I'm running out of eyeliner, sorry about it, I'm going to go with the color Hard Magic again, which is that black, and press it on there to get more payoff. And to make sure I don't get any black fallout on my cheek, I'm going to tilt my head a little bit and let it fall off to the side. And I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light again, and using Shadow Play, a little bit on my contour brush I used before. Add a little brown above the crease. And just have that fade away near the end of the crease. And taking a brush, I'm going to blend that out near the top. Now we got to start the eyebrow. Pray for me. Now, a mistake I commonly made with my eyebrows, especially when I glue them down, is I always start them all the way up here, so you get like that very surprise, first time in drag kind of brow. So what we're going to do is measure it out. This is where my brow naturally starts. That's our first little notch. And from there we angle it. And that's where our arch is going to go. And we're going to go from there and just basically connect the dots. And the fun thing about Divine eyebrows is that they're so crazy. You can go as extreme with them as you want. Divine sometimes had eyebrows that went all the way to the back of her head. So it's completely up to you where you want to go with it. They can be as thin or as thick as you want. I'm going to go a little bit thicker because that's more true to the time period. Because in the late 80s, Divine had embarked on a whole different kind of career. She wasn't just acting in films anymore. Those roles were kind of drying out because John Waters was transitioning to more of a mainstream kind of thing. So Divine's parts were getting smaller and smaller, so she knew she had to expand her career to something beyond just movies. So she started to sing, and she made high energy dance music. And part of the novelty with her was being able to see this gigantic drag queen singing these hard songs about sex. And Divine knew she couldn't take Van everywhere with her. He couldn't do her makeup for everything, so she had to learn a certain kind of makeup that she could replicate easily. So him and her worked on it. And they came up with this face that we're doing right now, or at least what my makeup's inspired by, the late 80s face, which is normally a very severe cut crease, eyeliner, brows, and very big lips. And sometimes contour and blush, depending on how much time she probably had to get on stage. But definitely it was very, very big because it had to be seen from afar. And we're gonna go in with Drug Lord again and just go underneath that and really line it up nice. I love Divine's makeup. What I found really interesting about her is she's one of those queens that has very striking, memorable makeup that a lot of those memorable looks she wasn't necessarily responsible for. Somebody else was doing her makeup. The guy who used to do her makeup for John Waters films like Pink Flamingos and Female Trouble, his name was Van Smith. And the Divine look that was in those movies was a concoction of John Waters, him, and Divine all collaborating to create a super monster. The idea was Divine meets Jaymes Mansfield meets Godzilla. And I feel like they achieved it. And at that time, they were just looking for makeup that was going to be striking on camera and would look cool on a poster. Little do they know how influential it would be later on. Nowadays, you see lots of inspiration from Divine in people's makeup, and a lot of time they probably don't even know it. I'm going to redefine my brow a little bit more with some color and then go back in above my crease and fix that because it kind of got a little muddied after putting down the white. Alright, I'm going to use the Anastasia Pro Brow Palette, and I'm going to use the color Auburn. A lot of Divine's makeup played a lot with different kind of things. It was a mashup of punk makeup, pageant makeup, drag makeup, and old Hollywood makeup. Because Divine wanted to look like Elizabeth Taylor, but physically and facially, she did not have that. So they decided to take certain aspects of Elizabeth Taylor, like her big brows and her big lips, and add it to Divine's features and just expand upon them immensely. And if you think about it, Elizabeth Taylor hung around Studio 54 back in the late 70s. You wonder if they ever crossed paths, because Divine was very big in Studio 54. One wonders what they must have thought of each other when they met. Alright, using the color Taco, I'm going to add a little bit under the brow. Underneath, I'm using Milk by NYX, and it's going to line my eye, adding a nice white line underneath it. That way my waterline pops. We're going to go a little bit beneath it as well. And using Waters from the Divine palette, we're going to go underneath the eye as well and add some color down there. It'll also work as a nice little guideline for your under eyeliner. Alright, and we're going to align underneath the eye. And with Divine, it's extreme under eyeliner. She was not afraid of her eyeliner. You basically want it to look like a crow crashed into your eye. There we are. And if you made it this far, congrats, because the next part is gonna go even faster. We're gonna do contour and lips and then finish it all up. All right, I'm gonna do this other side off of camera and I'll rejoin you in a second to do contour. Okay, so I'm back. I did the other side and I also arched the brows a little bit more to look a little more divine. All I really do is just take some auburn and just add color to them. Nothing fancy. All right, now we're gonna do the even funner part. We're gonna do contour and highlight, which is so much fun because it's so much makeup. I can't wait. So what we're gonna do is, it's a little weird. I learned this from Eureka when I was on tour with her. You take some duct tape, you rip off a good strip of that, then you find where Eureka is, you put it over her mouth. No, I'm kidding. What you do is you take it and you place it along your cheek like that, where your cheekbone is. And then taking that shade and light, we're gonna go extreme today and go with all three. Bring it up, bring it down, and slowly peel that off. If you don't get it as even as you want, play it off, or put some scars in your face and do Divine from Female Trouble. The fun part about doing Divine makeup is that it's okay if it's a little crunchy, because a lot of the roles Divine played were women that were not quite put together. So the stress for perfection really isn't there. That wasn't the point of the makeup. The point was just to be jarring. And I'm just taking shadow play, going along the forehead, because we don't want a whole lot of dark along the forehead. That's not necessary, because otherwise it's going to be really hard to blend along with your lace of your wig. Unless you're bald, you want to do it like Divine and just wear a hard lace wig with a bald head. That looks good too with this makeup. It's up to you. Not gonna tell you the right and wrongs of how to do something. And let's do the bottom of our chin. If it starts to look a little masky, this is completely fine. The point of the makeup is to be completely extreme with it. And the reason I do this is because I don't have the same shape of face as Divine. Hers is a lot more round. So I'm just gonna create that with contour. Bring it down the neck. All right, that's our contour. Let's move on to our highlights. Using that dermablend powder again. Gonna get a good gob of that into the lid. And then we're gonna use a brush and pat it all on. Take a good amount of that. Start packing it in, letting it cook on your cheek. Bring it down to the lip, a little bit on the edges of the nose, some on our chinny chin chin, and forehead. And while that cooks, I'm gonna do my nose. Taking an Anastasia cream foundation stick in mink. Gonna use a little lip brush and just redefine my nose. Now these kind of things Divine didn't usually do with her makeup, and that's why I'd say it's Divine inspired. I'm doing it because it works with my face. I don't have the same bone structure as her, and I'm not gonna sit here and try and give you an exact impersonation because it would look wretched on me. All right, let's blend it. That's like looking back at Divine's makeup. She didn't do a whole lot of contour. She did lots of highlight and lots of blush. Back in those days, they really contoured and cut their face with blush, like a dark purple or a dark pink. The only time I ever saw Divine with any kind of traditional contour that we're used to today is when you see like her old movies like Lust in the Dust, where she had to portray like a full-on real woman. She wasn't a Divine drag queen character. And they're going for more of a natural, ladylike look. That, and like I said before, this makeup that Divine did in the 80s, it had to be something she could put on quickly, so she didn't want to waste a lot of time with contours and highlights. She just wanted to throw it on and get on stage. Because back in those days, she was touring places like Europe, and she had to be in a new city every other day, so she wanted something that wouldn't take a lot of makeup, that she could just throw on quickly, because she never knew what circumstances she was going to be in or what kind of dressing room she would have. Alright, let's dust away some of our powders. Blend, 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 blend. Alright, let's go do my under nose. That's going to help us get that villain effect with the extended nostrils. And taking some of that Drug Lord, I'm going to do the nose. Do our little dot. And bring it up the bridge. Alright, bring that up to your forehead. And blend out our edges. A little bit on the tip. A little bit of white powder. I'm gonna go right into the Divine palette and use some of Female Trouble on the nose. Voila. All right, now it's time to do our lips. And when I did this picture, I used Lolita, but I ran out of it, so I'm going to use Spice by MAC, which is pretty similar. What we're gonna do is we're gonna overdraw our lips to the extreme. How to do Divine's lips is really kind of easy. I'll show you. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start by doing a triangle here. It's gonna look completely absurd, trust me, but it's worth it. If you want the Divine look, this is how to get it. And we're gonna do two lines in the corner of our mouth as well. And if you're having a bad mustache day, this is a great lip to do. All right, we're gonna round it out to connect. And we're just gonna bring that downward. There, it's gonna look completely absurd. A little line down here. Virtually using none of your actual lips. This is a great trick to do for lips. If you have very small lips, you can go as extreme as you want to get as big as lips as you want. Or if you have bigger lips, you can go not as much and still get the same effect. And this is taking it to the literal extreme. Like we're not even a human anymore. All right, I'm taking Divine by Kat Von D, and we're gonna fill her in. Alright, now we're gonna do blush and eyelashes and finish this all up. Alright, for blush, I'm using an eyeshadow Suburbia by Sugar Pill. It's this pink corally one. Go completely 80s with it, go all the way to your hairline with it. Alright, now time for eyelashes. I'm taking these little teeny tiny ones and putting them right here. And the fun thing is, like, this makeup is so extreme, you can literally place these eyelashes anywhere and you don't have to worry about going anywhere near your natural lashes. Alright, and for my top lashes, I had these tapered off ones I got off of Amazon. I stacked them all together. You can see it's like 3 lashes all together. I normally use cat eyelashes from Sugar Pill, but they're all out of stock on the website. So I had to make do and get these off of Amazon and just stack them all on together. Old school, nothing wrong with that. And this glue is white, but it will dry. It's the color.
Welcome back. Look what eyelashes can do. Who's first? Who wants to die for art? Just kidding. Thank you guys so much for watching my divine inspired tutorial. I had a blast, and thank you so much to Kat Von D Beauty for sending me PR. You don't know what that means to me. I've been following you guys forever, and it feels so great to get recognized for the work I do. And the fact that you girls recognize the work us drag queens do is so awesome. So thank you so much, KVD Beauty. Now, Divine's makeup may seem very extreme, but if you're just starting to do drag makeup, it's a fun place to dabble in when you're experimenting with your face and seeing what techniques work for you. Don't be afraid to experiment. Try out some of these techniques and see if you can find a face that works for you. Now, a lot of these drag techniques are used in popular drag makeup today. They're just changed a little bit or have evolved with the times. So it's always fun to look back and see where a lot of these trends came from. And it's awesome to see how this extreme style of makeup is coming back in a big way. Who knew that a drag queen from Baltimore, world famous for eating poop, would have such a profound influence on drag makeup all over the world? Again, thank you all so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, especially like. It helps people find my videos easier. Love you all, and until next time, bye! Get lost! Click here and see me do my pink fantasy look. Or see me style body waves with a side part. Come on, click it. You know you want to. If you don't click it, I'll leak your Netflix password. Click it!